Yeah, mic check. Okay, so I'm making a breakdown of how I mixed these vocals.
Holy are you, Lord. Hosts of heaven adore you, Lord. Most enthroned King of all times. Hallelujah.
Okay, first things first. This is a live recording actually. And what you know what normally goes on after a live recording? There's always post production. So I had the backup singers come back to the studio again to do that. To do. So we did about six takes again. Do you understand? Because the one they recorded live was a total mess, you know. Although I still left it there, but very low, very low. I hope you can hear it. Very low. Okay, so first things first. Let's go straight to the mixer. So what I normally do is this. I'll first of all group my sopranos. These are my sopranos. This Bgv1. You can say soprano 1. That's soprano 1. This is soprano 2. Soprano 2, right? Okay, so let's play them together. You can see I grouped them to a boss. Alright, so working with the first one, I have my auto tune on it, right? I want to make sure we're on key. So, of course, since it's a soprano singer, I had it on soprano and on the key of A flat. My retune speed, you don't want to do too much. Since it's a gospel song, then humanize. I have it up to this point here. So that's all I'm doing on my auto tune. I think I did the same thing on the other channel. So now let's go to the boss for the sopranos. So I have my parametric EQ. So I had to first of all roll out. Okay, let's do a default. Let me go back to default. So I did a high pass because this is a female voice, of course. So there might be no too much information at the low end. There might be no too much information at the low end, right? Okay, so I roll off this part, then I look for nasal frequencies. Yeah. Yeah, found one there, so I roll it down. Not too much, you don't want to do too much. So look for it around here also. Yeah, that's one. So bring it down. Then I like to look for one around here. Yeah. That harsh sound. So I bring it down. So that's all I'm doing basically here. Then I do, it's acting on both channels right now, right? Okay. So then I go further to do the same thing on the altos. I do that on the altos also. You see, I have my auto tune and it's set on alto or tenor, right? And on my A flat, because that's our key. And you see, I had more retune speed here, and because this is not the highest pitch. If it's to be soprano, I won't be doing that much retune speed. Alright, so I think after doing that, I send that also to the second channel of the alto. It's basically the same thing. Now on the boss, I did a parametric EQ also. I did a parametric EQ, and also we also look for. Oh wow, found one right there. Bring it down. Then we look for another one again. Yeah. Yeah. So bring it down. Those are nasal frequencies. That's what we're looking for. So we look for another. I like to look for one around here. Oh, that's it. So we take it down. So now whatever we're doing here is affecting these two channels, right? So okay, then we'll do the same thing for the tenor, right? We're doing same thing for the tenor. We add our auto tune, still set on auto on tenor. The retune speed, you can see it. Humanize is also there, right? Then I do the same thing on the second channel of my tenor. Exactly the same thing, right? Okay, so now I put them in a bus. This is my tenor bus. I did the same thing on my EQ, right? So I really didn't find
Host of heaven,
so you can go ahead to look for
most enthroned.
But take note, most of the time, don't do this on solo. It's just because I'm trying to do a tutorial video. That's why I'm doing this, so you can actually hear what I'm hearing.
Holy, holy,
Yeah, so there's one there. Bring it down. I like to look for one around here. And you don't have to over exaggerate it. Okay. So that's one. Let's look for one at the middle. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Bring it down. Okay, good. So now, what we'll do next, we'll listen to everything together. Right? So, I went ahead. Let's mix our sopranos. I have my SSL channel here. So if you can copy the settings at this point, it is close to I think 10 dB here, the high shelf with a bell here, and then I rolled off this point, rolled off this point, rolled off this point, rolled off this point, just go through it, and then this particular point is the low frequency. So I think I have about 358 here, yes. Then I took out a little bit of the low end here. Yeah, I needed more volume, that's why I moved this one. I guess you can see it, right? Okay, now this is just like a gate to take out some noise. So if I do it too much, then it might start eating up the vocals. So this is like a compressor section. You see my release is at 4, my ratio at 3, then threshold I didn't really do too much here. Yeah, that's for my sopranos, right? So now if we're doing same thing for the altos, I have my similar settings, just similar settings. I just did the same thing because I want them to sound the same. Then also on the tenor, I think there's a slight change on the tenor because this is a man's voice, right? Yes, this is the slight change I have here. I even have to take it down because while recording it was a little bit louder than every other thing, right? So I have to bring it down. And yeah, same setting. Check out this. The other one was around here. So just mix and make sure it sounds very good. Once it sounds good, So now for my compressor settings, I have a fast attack, and then my ratio is release here at 4, ratio is at 5 this time around. My threshold -5 dB, right? So that's that. Then I compare again. Listen. Yeah. The next thing, you really want to compress. I have my SSL compressor here, just to make everything to blend, right? So I like the way analog. This analog, I left it on because I like the way it was sounding, right? So I just did a little bit of compression, and I duplicated everything on all the channels, moved everything down to all the channels. So let's take a listen. Yeah, so that's all I did. Basically, then I sent all these channels to a bus. All the buses of soprano, alto, tenor. I sent them to a major bus where I now did my DSR, my DSing. You can see all the S's still have a compressor here, my footy compressor. I'm not doing too much, just to make sure everything is sounding as one. And then I have my parametric EQ. I still did some little rolling off here. Then I have my fab filter. I like this plugin. I use the vocals, the expanded and sibilance control. I'm still doing some little bit of control there on the vocals. Then I have my SSL channel here. Still did a little bit of boosting on the high frequency, on the high mid frequency. I rolled up a little bit here, boosted a little bit here. On the low mid frequency, I did a little reduction here, a little boost here. Then I was looking for, when I got to this point, I was looking for some low end too. That's what I did. I just left this one here and increased this point a little bit. And a little bit of gating here. And for my compressor, I'm not doing too much here. I just want everything I don't want it to sound over compressed, right? I don't want it to sound too compressed. So I just did a little bit there. And of course my bell is on. Then next thing, I have my enhancer, feature stereo enhancer. It's not doing that much, but it's just doing a little bit of work there, right? So that's how I have this to sound like this. Then if I had to continue this, I want to add my sooth 2. Yeah, just to like the name implies, sooth. If I exaggerate, you see what it's doing, right? See what it's doing. You see, that's the suit. You're already eating too much of the vocal, so you just want it soft. Put it a little bit. Yeah, I think that's more than enough. And then I like to add my fresh air. It just adds presence to the vocal. Right? Then next, you do your panning. We've not talked about that. Panning. I have my soprano 1 sent to 25% to the left, soprano 2 sent to 75% to the right, 75% to the right. I have my alto 1 sent to 50% to the left, 50% to the right. That's the way you can pan, mix and make sense. Like my tenor 1, 75% to the right and 25% to the left. You see, everything is going to sound properly blended when you do that. You can still decide your own whatever you want to do. Just make sure you see there's 25 to this side, there's 25 to the other side, there's 75 to this side, 75 to the other side, there's 50 to this side, 50 to the other side. Just make sure everything is properly panned, right? You don't want to do it too much. Okay, so you can hear that's how we got this to sound this way. So I believe you've been able to learn 1 or 2 things out of this. The song will be out very soon. It's tagged Hallelujah. Once it's out, I'll let you all know. And if you want me to do a full breakdown of how I mix the live recording, you can let me know in the comment section. And if you want us to continue where I add, of course, we still have to add our reverb, our delay, a lot of plugin. But this is just the first step to the mixing. Where you're able to have, your gain staging. The first step is gain staging. You balance all the vocals to make sure they are sounding the same. No one is sounding too loud. Then the next step, we introduce our EQ, right? Where we EQ'd out the low end that we don't need, from all the vocals. Then we compress. After adding our compressor, we do our SSL channel just to blend all the vocals, and then we added our fresh air, like that. I believe you've been able to get 1 or 2 things out of it. So then the next step, if you need how to, once the video is out, right? Once the video is out, I'll let you guys know, definitely. So if you want me to do a full breakdown of the whole song, the very nice song, if you want me to do a breakdown of the whole song, just let me know in the comment section and I'll be glad to do that. Alright, thank you. See you in my next video.